Hey guys, it's Samuel Larsen here. I'm the founder of Grow Gurus, and in this video I'm going to cover the essential steps before starting an A/B test. So what do you need to know? What do you need to do before you launch a test on your e-commerce store? But before that, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do a ton of Shopify content here and Shopify optimization content, so not just traffic. You can also download my 10 quick tips that you can implement straight away today in order to implement and improve your Shopify store conversions. And those are available from below. Let's jump into this one. So people ask me all the time, how do I test? How do I run a test on my Shopify store? And that is the wrong question to begin with, since first of all, you'd want to know the answer to a question like, can I test? And to most e-commerce merchants, the answer is actually no. You can't test when it comes to monetary metrics. So, for example, if you have only 100 conversions a month, then you'd be splitting that between your original site and your variation site, and you'd only have 50 versus 50. Now, that is a very small sample size still. So if you get a result versus, like, let's say 55 versus 45, you don't really know which one is the best, because it might have very well just been variant. There, the bigger the transaction volume, the more easily we can find a test winner. That's why places like Amazon, they can test nearly anything on the store. So even like, should I have a banner here or not? Like that would be a very, very small test. However, they can easily run it since their traffic is such a huge thing. So in those cases, they would be able to find the sample size pretty quickly. However, for most merchants, like, it is completely opposite. You don't have that much volume in terms of transactions or revenue, and there you'd need to test bigger things. A general rule of thumb there is to have at least 500 transactions per month in order to be able to test. And why is it per month? Well, when it comes to that testing period, after 1 month, your cookies start expiring, and you also are moving very slowly with your test if you run it for more than a month. So it hurts your velocity that you could be testing with. So generally for the smaller stores, we recommend that you actually don't test if you're around this area. It's difficult to make a positive impact from that program because testing also takes time. It is quite time consuming to go and create a variant that is good, QA the variant, run the test, and then implement. So in order to that, in those cases, you would often just be better off not testing, but implementing the winner straight away, so to say. Now the answer to the question, should I test? Well, that can only be answered after you have positively answered to the question, can I test? So if you do have that, let's say 500 transactions a month, you're doing a decent amount of revenue, then you can look into what is the cost of the test. Let's say the test has a potential impact of 5%, and then you can look into that in terms of what is the valuation increase you would expect. So for example, in this case, for this company, it would be 4,500 USD. So that's around 5%, of course, if their conversion rate improves 5%. You might want to do a more of a complicated calculation of this, because oftentimes this is a profit on top of your existing ad spend. If you're running SEO, then this would be appropriate way to do it. So there you'd want to make sure that this is the highest leverage thing you can do for your business. So now that you have an idea of the valuation increase you are looking for, let's jump into testing that and calculating this out. This is understanding how big of a sample size do you need to run the test. And in this kind of case, let's just use a case where you'd have a weekly traffic of 10,000. Your current conversion rate would be 2%. So you'd be running 200 weekly conversions, and then you'd be looking to test one variant. So one variant and one control. So A and B version. So here, 2% baseline confidence level. I'd say you'd normally you wouldn't need this high of a confidence level. So confidence level just means that we are 95% sure that the test winner is the winner. And here you will improve or add to the failure rate when you make this number smaller. However, it also means that you can test quicker. And I'd recommend to not get too involved with the statistical power thing right now. You just want to make sure that your test is at least 80% accurate. Now, here are the minimum uplifts you'd need to have in order for you to detect that win. So we call it the minimal detectable effect. And it simply is this. So if you want to test for 4 weeks, your current conversion rate, the baseline conversion rate is 2%, then you'd need an 11.8% lift to that. So your new conversion rate would need to be at least 2.236 in order for you to be able to say with at least 80% certainty that this variant is the better one. So that is the mathematical side of this. Now the last thing I'd say is you definitely want to test assumptions. So here's a standard hypothesis statement. We believe that by doing this experiment, we'll be able to achieve an outcome. So that could be often increasing revenue. And we will know if this approach is best by a measurable criteria. So this will not only enable you to test, we will enable you to build learnings on top of that test. So then you'll be able to take those learnings to the other pages of the site as well. Now, this is an easy calculation when it comes to cart and checkout. However, if you're looking to test, for example, collections pages, then not all of buyers go through collections or category pages. So there you'd want to adjust this and not just look for the standard metrics, which is a little bit more complicated. But for the most simple testing, this is good enough to get you started. I hope you found a lot of value out of this video. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe for future Shopify on-site optimization videos. And like the video if you liked it. If you have any questions, you can just answer or ask in the comments and I'll answer them for you. Cheers.